Hi, this is Mark. I'm Mark. This is Emmett. And he's my little boy. He's my little guy. He's chilling out with me today. So, welcome back to the channel if you are returning, and welcome if you're new. But everybody's kind of new because this is my first video with the new channel name, which is Creative Journeys with Mark. So, I thought that really encompassed what we're going to be doing on this channel. Now, for the first project I have for the holidays, it is a simple, small, well, you can make it any size you wanted to, but it's a simple star ornament made out of paper. You can use scrapbook paper, cardstock, whatever you want, and you can make a ton of them in one afternoon and for not a lot of money. So I think it'd be amazing to do a whole tree in them, and I don't know. I have a lot of ideas for them that I want to do, but I'm going to just show you the basic. So come along with me and let's get to making stuff. First, you have to start out with a square. To get as perfect a square as I can freehanding, I like to use a quilter's ruler, a quilter's invisible ruler. As you can see your lines, you can line them up. It just makes it easier. This one is 6 inches wide, so that makes it easy to do a 6-inch square, so on and so forth. But this is a really handy tool for that. Okay, so I have a 6-inch square here. I'm going to fold it diagonally. That's your first step. Then you're going to take this point and bring it up to the point at the top. And you're going to crease that. That will give you this line here that I'm going to draw it so you can see it better on camera. Because you're going to take this long edge at the top, bring it down, match it along that fold line that I just drew in so you could see it. So you're matching it all the way down there. And then, pardon the glitter, I just finished doing another video. You're going to just crease that a little bit at the top because you just are marking that ever so slightly. Then you're bringing this part up again, and you're keeping this creased here, right? You're keeping the point right there and bringing this up so that this line touches that fold that you just made there, that little crease. Okay. So you see that? Creased it, and then so you get this shape. Then you bring this bottom edge up along this side, like that. And then you fold along. I'm just going to draw it so you can see. But you see this line here, right? Down to, you're not going to draw the lines, but just so you can see. So this is the line that you're folding this across, okay? So you end up with this sort of tulip, stylized tulip looking shape. And then you turn it back over. And the more extreme your angle is, the sharper or the skinnier the points on your star will be. And the less shallow the angle is to this point here, the chubbier your star will be. So, and by that, shallow, I mean in relation to this bottom point. So if you're going to cut it here, you're going to get a different look to your star than if you cut it from down here, right? But either way, you are drawing that line up or cutting that line. This is your cut line to this point here. You don't have to draw the lines again. I'm just doing it so you can see it. And then I like to use a utility knife because I feel like you get a cleaner cut as long as your blade is sharp. Oh, it didn't apply enough pressure. I'm going through quite a few layers. And there you have your star. So after you have made your star template and cut that out, you can trace that onto cardstock. And if you're going to make ornaments out of these, you can use scrapbook paper as well. So that works really well too. I used a glitter cardstock for my ornament. And then I use a utility knife to cut out my star. I find it a lot easier than scissors, but you could totally use scissors. And if you were doing this with some youngsters or people who aren't comfortable or shouldn't be handling a utility knife, then you could definitely use scissors to cut out the stars. All right, now that I've got my star cut out, the next step, you're going to draw your fold lines. I just find it easier to draw them on, and you're not going to, if you're going to hang this on your tree or whatever, you're not going to see the back. So it'll be totally fine. Just going to draw from the point to the inner point here, the inner triangle. And you're going to do that all the way around your star. Then, after you have your lines drawn, you're going to fold along those lines. And right now, you're just going to fold everything in the same direction, okay? It's just going to keep it with the wrong side facing out. And you're going to go along all these lines. Then, on all the points of the star, you're going to fold the opposite direction. So then the glitter side is up. You see how that's giving you the dimension? Okay, and then I like to give it just another little squeeze around. And there's your star. Now you can glue a ribbon to the back of this and hang it on a Christmas tree, or use that as a gift tag on a present. How pretty would that be? To just put on a package wrapped in brown paper and tied up with string. Brown paper packages tied up with string with a little star gift tag on it, because you can write anything back here, or you could cut another little square tag if you wanted to put the actual name on it. But what a special little package that would be, So there you go. And so what I'm going to do, if I'm going to make this an ornament or a gift tag, I'm going to tie a piece of twine. Because again, I don't know, I like twine. I think it's really pretty. It's rustic. It kind of goes with everything. It sort of fades into the tree. But I saw how expensive wrapping paper is. It was $12 a roll on sale at Michael's. So I will be using plain brown paper this year to wrap my gifts, and making tags like this out of special paper that I can get for, a couple dollars. And then I'm just going to glue that on there. I'm doing it like this instead of a loop, because that'll let me tie it around, the branch of a tree. Or if I have other twine wrapped around a package, that's easy to just tie along, tie right in there. Or if you wrap it with a special ribbon, you can tie it around that. So if you use ribbon, twine, whatever, I like to do it like this and give yourself two ends instead of a loop. But there you go. A really sweet little Christmas ornament that didn't cost very much at all. And I think a whole tree just covered with these and some simple lights would be stunning. And to give you an idea of what you can do with your finished ornament or tag or whatever you want to use it for, I wrapped an empty box in plain brown craft paper that you can get, a whole roll of for relatively inexpensive. I mean, you can see how, you get a lot in these rolls. And this is, like I said, an empty box, I think I said. So you could use this just as a decoration underneath your tree. And it costs you very little, because the cardstock, or you could make these out of scrapbook paper too. is maybe $1, maybe $3 for a sheet, if it's really elaborate or very embellished or something, or a very special paper. But you could buy a couple sheets of the expensive stuff and buy a bunch of the cheap stuff and mix them together. And then I had this leftover ribbon from a tree that I decorated a few years back, so I used that little twine to tie the star on with. And then this was an old like floral pick that I cut apart to tuck in there with some little fake, I would call it mistletoe. So if you have some Christmas florals that have seen better days, cut them apart. Some of these, the leaves were kind of starting to fray and stuff, and it wasn't in the best condition. So, but you snip it apart, keep the good parts, tuck those into a package, and that's really beautiful. I mean, if you gave that as a gift to somebody, maybe not an empty box, but I don't know, they may still be thrilled with just getting this. But if you wrapped somebody's present like this, how special is that for Christmas? Or any holiday, I mean, you can adapt this for whatever. But yeah, so there's the finished, and I'll show you what it looks like under the tree. And you can follow the star garland here down to this beautiful little package under the tree. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can follow along for all of the holiday crafts that I have planned this year. Happy making, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.